Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you about your finances, how you can take wise decisions to make yourself prosper and to protect your future. Now, think about your parents. If your parents had only you as a child, you know what that means is that when they die, you're likely to inherit their estate, their property. So you're just going to be the sole beneficiary. You're the only child. They leave everything to you. But then your parents had more children. Suppose they had a set of twins. What that means is that instead of the inheritance going just one way to you, it's going to go three ways. And then what if they had other children? Maybe they had another child. So you have four children from your parents. So that means that the inheritance is going to be split four ways. You're going to get a quarter instead of the full inheritance. So basically, the more children your parents have, the less inheritance you're going to have. So the more children that your parents have, it waters down your inheritance. Now basically, money is the same. The economy is the same. So you see, the government are your parents, and then money are the government's children because the government produces money. The more money the government produces, the more the money is watered down. The more the money loses value, and the more the purchasing power in your pocket drops. That's called inflation. It's called inflation. That's what it is. So now you think about yourself. If you have your money in your house or in a bank, your money is gradually losing money. It's a gradual process, so you're probably not aware of it, but your money is losing value. So I'll give you a very good example. In the United States, over the last 50 years, inflation has been about an average of 2.7, reaching a high of about 11.10 in November of 2022. So basically, let's look at this now. Let's say in the last 10 years, inflation has been 2.7 in the United States. Now, imagine if you had $1,000 in the year 2013. You had $1,000 in the year 2013. If you had invested that money in a company like maybe Apple. Apple is called AAPL in the various stock exchanges, but that AAPL just means Apple. That's their name on the stock market. So if you invested $1,000 in Apple, in this year 2023, that money will be equivalent to about $12,482. So that means by investing your money has increased by over 1,200%. But if you left your money just at home, that means that in that 10-year period, from 2013 to 2023, your money would have been reduced, eroded in value by inflation at a rate of 2.7% every year. So that means that in about that 10-year period, let's just use that in that 10-year period, you would have lost probably about 270 of your money. So that means that your money will now be worth about $730. Now, this is just a rough estimate, it could be much worse than that. So you see, in that 10-year period, because you're not investing your money has shrunk. Now, it's still $1,000, but the purchasing power has reduced to $730. But by investing your money, it has increased in value, and it has multiplied by about 12 times. So you see, the only way to retain your money, the value of your money, and even increase it is by investing. So you're going to ask yourself, where should I invest? And that's a very good question. Right now, probably the best way to invest your money is cryptos and NFTs. But here's the thing, it's very risky. You can make a killing, a lot of money, and you can also lose your money. So it's very risky. So what you want to do is you want to have a portfolio. You want to have a portfolio of steady investments that have given people money over a long period of time so that you can have confidence in them. Because the thing about crypto is that they only go back 10 years. So we have limited knowledge of how they work. However, with the stock market, we've got over 100-year history. So the safest place to put your money is in the stock market. So you want to put most of your money, something like maybe about 60 to 75% of your money in the stock market. But what part of the stock market do you want to put your money in? Now, if you look at something like the S&P 500, which is an index, it's not the stock market, but it's just an index of how to invest your money in the stock market. So it's an index that tells you the 500 largest corporations in America by market capitalization. So if you look at the S&P 500, people who have invested using that as a guide, in the last 10 years, they've had a compound annual growth rate, that's a CAGR, they've had a CAGR of about 14.7%. So that means that if you invested 10 years ago, $1,000 in an index fund, a mutual fund that is linked to the S&P 500, your money will be worth today about $14,700, which is a lot of money. Now let's go to the Dow Jones. The CAGR of the Dow Jones in the last 10 years has been about 8.4%. So that means that if you had invested $1,000 in the Dow Jones, by now, after 10 years, you'd have had $8,700 or rather $8,400 profit. And then let's look at the NASDAQ 100. If you had invested $1,000 in the NASDAQ 100, because the NASDAQ has a CAGR in the last 10 years of slightly above 9%, that means you'd have had about $9,000. So you see that investing in the stock market is the safest way. It's not the most profitable way, but it's the safest way to make money over time. Because people don't make money overnight. That happens in crypto, but there's so much risk. So what you want to do is you want to put about 60 to 75% of your holdings in the stock market, preferably the S&P 500, and then the NASDAQ, and then the Dow Jones. And then when you put your money there, you want to make sure that your money is constantly earning a CAGR of at least maybe 8%. Why? Because inflation in the United States over the last 2 years has been quite high. But what you want to do, you don't want to take your money and put your money in an interest account. Because if you look at the interest account, in the last 10 years, the average interest account in the United States has been 1.6. So you have the average inflation at 2.7 and the average interest rate at 1.6. That means you're losing money. So now I hope this makes sense to you. S&P 500, number 1. NASDAQ 100, number 1. Number 2. Dow Jones, number 3, and then crypto, number 4. That's where you should be putting your money, so that you are not losing your money to inflation. Now, if you watch this, you got questions arising from this, put your questions in the comment section of this video. My staff are going to bring them to me, and I'm going to do my best to respond to each and every category. I got to remember, I do not have a WhatsApp forum, Telegram channel, or Gmail address. My name is Pastor Rano, the Apostle of Prosperity, saying, God bless you.